Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Today we have a concealer review and wear test and beauty battle, I guess all in one. So we are going to be reviewing the new Victoria Beckham and Augustinus Bader concealer pen versus the new WESTMAN Atelier Vital Skincare Concealer. So I was going to do fully separate reviews on these, but in the interest of time, I've decided that kind of a comparison video is going to be best for me and hopefully more helpful for you as well. Starting with the Victoria Beckham, so I believe this was available for pre-order sometime in August. I do remember ordering this one when I was on vacation, so I was very excited about this. It has just come in. I have the shade FL1 and this is a very pricey concealer. This retails for 68 US dollars or 96 Canadian. So very, very pricey. And I believe this only has 16 shades available. So I don't know how I feel about that. I have the very lightest one, which is very fair light with neutral undertones. So this is a high performance double impact formula of the concealer pen, gives you exquisite second skin light to medium coverage that immediately perfects, while proprietary skincare actives improve your complexion in 4 weeks. So that sounds amazing. So it does say that this is a light to medium coverage formula that was developed to work across a wide range of skin tones. This is a flexible, blendable formula, and it's supposed to be long-wearing, cruelty-free, vegan, silicone-free, soy-free, gluten-free, dermatologist-tested, safe for sensitive skin, and non-comedogenic. This is also made in Italy and has a 6-month shelf life. This also has 2.4 milliliters or 0.08 fluid ounces. So this is what the pen looks like. It is very sleek, very, very pretty. It does have a click up down here, and it does kind of remind me of the component of the Pat McGrath Intensivize eye primer stick. Opening it up, it actually does have a brush tip applicator. And I don't think I actually have any concealers that have this type of applicator. And on the other side, we have the WESTMAN Atelier, which is also a very expensive brand, but this one is much more reasonably priced than the Victoria Beckham, even though it's still expensive. This retails for 48 US dollars or 65 Canadian. So you can see what I'm saying. It is still very expensive, but paired next to the Victoria Beckham, it seems more affordable. This is supposed to be hydrating with a natural finish and non-comedogenic. This is going to have a medium coverage, and this is a precise buildable coverage concealer clinically shown to reduce the look of dark circles, featuring serum strength skincare to hydrate, visibly brighten, and smooth. This one is also made in Italy and has a 12-month shelf life compared to the 6 from the Victoria Beckham. Another call out is definitely the amount that you're getting in both. So like I mentioned, the Victoria Beckham has 2.4 mil, whereas the WESTMAN Atelier has 6 mil. So you're getting more than double the product in the WESTMAN Atelier for a much lower price point. And this is the component of the WESTMAN Atelier. I think it is very, very pretty. On this side, you have the brand name, and this is what the doe foot looks like. So it is really, really nice. I am liking the applicator of the WESTMAN Atelier a little bit more as well. And I got the shade Atelier L1. And this is also one that I believe has about 16 shades. So neither one of these has a great shade range. I will say the Victoria Beckham does look to have a better range. The WESTMAN Atelier does have a lot of shades for light to medium skin, but going into the deeper tones, the Victoria Beckham looks like it has a much better range. So let me zoom you in. We'll put these on the face, and then I will finish up the rest of my makeup and get the wear test started. It is currently 10 a.m., so I'm hoping to wear this until at least 8 o'clock tonight. So let's get in a good 10 hours, but let's get into it. All right, so I have done almost all of my makeup. I haven't done bronzer or blush or anything like that because I didn't want to do any powders, but eyes, brows, foundation, all done. But really, really quickly, we have the shade from the Victoria Beckham and the WESTMAN Atelier. So the Victoria Beckham is leaning a little bit more neutral. The WESTMAN Atelier, I feel like, has a little bit more of a peachy undertone, which is fine, but let's get into this Victoria Beckham. And just going in with my A506 from BK Beauty. And I didn't put any powder down anywhere else because I didn't want it to interfere. I'm actually going to grab my Charlotte Tilbury complexion brush because I like this one for really getting into that inner corner. It just does get into that spot a little bit better. So I'm feeling like this shade is almost a little bit too light and bright. It's not a bad shade by any means, but it is a little bit lighter than I would normally go for my concealer. It's blending out nicely, but I feel like the coverage is a little bit more on the light side. For reference, I do have dry skin, and I prefer my complexion products to have a bit more of a medium coverage. My skin isn't 100% flawless. It's not terrible, but it's not absolutely flawless. So I do prefer a bit more of a medium. Okay, so I definitely think that gave me a brightening effect. Absolutely. Definitely did make my under eyes look really, really nice. But I don't feel like I got much of a medium coverage. Even when I tried to build it, I still feel like it's a little bit more of a light medium. But it does look really, really nice. I will say that. It does look hydrating. I will be setting these with a powder. I am going to be using my Givenchy powder because as salty as I am about them reformulating that one, I still have the original and it is still my favorite. So I do want to pair these with my favorite powder because I know exactly how it responds to concealers and I trust it the most, and I do think that gives me the best shot at a wear test. Okay, going in on the other side with the Westman Atelier. So this one is a little bit thicker, just going into that corner. And then grabbing my other brush. So I do like this shade a little bit more just because it is a little bit closer to my skin tone, but I do like how brightening the Victoria Beckham side is. I do think that looks really lovely. I do want to add a little bit of that Westman Atelier around my nose as well. I'll do the same thing on the other side with the Victoria Beckham because I want to see how that works. I don't normally put a lot around here, but today I feel like I kind of need it. I really, really do like the coverage of the Westman Atelier compared to the Victoria Beckham. And then just adding a little bit over here as well. Okay, so we have the Victoria Beckham and we have the Westman Atelier. I feel like the Victoria Beckham side is definitely a bit brighter, a little bit more hydrated looking, but the Westman Atelier side also does look very hydrated and definitely has a bit more coverage. I like them both, but for different reasons. I feel like they've done an equal amount of settling into those creases, so I wouldn't say either one of them are as crease proof as the new Danessa Myricks or even the new MAC concealer that I've been enjoying. I would say that these will crease a little bit more, a little bit easier than those two. So far they both look nice, but the Westman Atelier is giving me a little bit more coverage. The Westman Atelier is definitely a little bit thicker, but they both feel very lightweight on the under eyes. Okay, I'm just dipping into my Givenchy powder and setting those under eyes. I have been trying to find a powder that will replace this one for me, and I've tried some good ones, but I haven't bested this one yet. This is just the best there is. It really is, and it looks amazing over that Westman Atelier powder. Setting the Victoria Beckham side. So they both seem to love the Givenchy powder. What doesn't? But so far I like both. Like I said, the Westman Atelier, definitely more coverage. The Victoria Beckham, a little bit more brightening. But they both feel lightweight and they both look really, really nice under my eyes so far. So I am going to finish up the rest of my makeup and then I will come back to get the wear test started. Alright, so the rest of the makeup is done and I still think both sides look really, really nice so far. Like I said, I'm liking the Westman Atelier side a little bit more just because I have a little bit more coverage to play with. But that doesn't mean I don't like this side because I do. I think it looks really nice as well. So I'm gonna go about the rest of my day. I am going to be doing a lot of running around today, and I'm going to be outside for a portion of the day, which means my makeup is probably going to be put through the paces just due to allergy season. But I will definitely be back at the end of the day to show you what this looks like, and I will definitely try to get some footage in natural lighting as well. But I will see you guys at the end of the day. Just showing you what this looks like in natural lighting. I think both sides still look really, really good, but there is definitely more coverage from the WESTMAN Atelier, which is this side, and I definitely do like it better in natural lighting. But the Victoria Beckham looks like it's a very nice kind of everyday light makeup kind of concealer. It still looks really, really nice. I just prefer the side with the more coverage, but both sides are looking really nice in natural lighting. All right, we have made it to the very end of the day, and I have definitely put the concealer to the test. I was outside a lot. My allergies did not appreciate it, and it has been very, very hot. So let me zoom you in and we can kind of take a look at how the concealer is looking. So I'm hoping you can tell both sides look relatively okay. I was definitely wearing sunglasses, so ignore that. But on the WESTMAN Atelier side, I feel like we're still looking really good. We still have quite a bit of coverage. On the Victoria Beckham side, I do feel like I've started to lose a lot of coverage. It is nearing 8 p.m. So this has been on for about 10 hours at this point, and I do feel like I have significantly less coverage on this side, whereas I feel like this side definitely held up coverage-wise. I also noticed that on this side, more around here, that the Victoria Beckham is kind of settling into lines that I don't normally see. So I don't really love that, but otherwise, I don't really have a lot of complaints. So while both concealers definitely looked really nice on the skin, they definitely both serve their own purposes. I don't think they're very similar. So the Victoria Beckham I think is lovely. It's a really beautiful lightweight concealer. I do think it is a beautiful concealer for every day. It definitely gave me a really nice brightening effect. It held up pretty well throughout the day, but it didn't really hold on to the coverage as much. It gave me more of a light medium coverage than anything, and like I said, it did start to settle into some lines that I don't normally notice. This is also, I have to be honest, obnoxiously expensive for what it is. So while I don't dislike it, I don't think it's a bad product. I definitely do think it's a lovely concealer for every day. It's just definitely not special enough to be worth 68 US dollars. Or 96 Canadian. I don't love this more brush tip applicator for a concealer. I know some concealers have that. It's just not my preference. I would prefer a doe foot. You also don't get much product in here at all. Whereas the WESTMAN Atelier, I really do like. So this one is definitely also very expensive. Compared to the Victoria Beckham, it's not. But in the big picture, it is a very pricey concealer. But it definitely gave me a really solid medium coverage, which it held throughout the day. It did give me a nice luminosity as well. It didn't have quite as much brightness as the Victoria Beckham, but that really doesn't bother me. And like I said, it just held up all day. They felt equally lightweight. It's just that the WESTMAN Atelier did a lot more. Plus you get more than double the product in the WESTMAN Atelier. So they are both extremely pricey, but if you're deciding between the two, I would recommend the WESTMAN Atelier over the Victoria Beckham. So while the Victoria Beckham is lovely, it doesn't do nearly enough to justify the obnoxious price point. It just doesn't. It is nice and lightweight and blendable, but I have a lot of concealers that have a very similar effect at a much lower price point that come with a lot more product. So this just really doesn't justify it. I understand the collab with Augustinus Bader probably does drive up that price point, but it just doesn't make it worth it, in my opinion. Like I said, this concealer is fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't justify the price point. The WESTMAN Atelier is also very pricey, but you get more than double the amount of product in here. The component is much heavier, more luxurious, whereas this is more of a click-up pen. This one, like I said, gave me more coverage. It lasted better throughout the day, and they both felt very lightweight and blendable, but this just did so much more. So I really, really like this so far. I will keep wearing it and comparing it to some of the other concealers in my collection. I will continue to wear the Victoria Beckham as well because I have it and I do enjoy it. It's just that this is not one that when I run out of it, I'm going to be rushing to repurchase, and I don't think I would recommend this one either. The WESTMAN Atelier, as of right now, I would recommend it, but I will keep trying it out to solidify my thoughts and give you my final recommendation at the end of September in my speed reviews. But if you're on the fence between the two, I would absolutely say go with the WESTMAN Atelier and skip the Victoria Beckham. But that is it for me today. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Did you pick up either one of these? Which one do you like better? I just love hearing from you guys so much, so please do leave your thoughts down below. And if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload new videos every single week. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!